first we're going to talk about Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine, which I want to say is the third installment of the Deadpool film series, is out now. We've all seen it. I would say this is probably the highest anticipated film of the year, not just as a Marvel film, but as just a movie itself. So before we go on to spoilers, and I'll make sure I give spoilers alert before we get into it, I'd like to know everyone's thoughts about the film without any spoilers.
Let me get my letterbox review because it's spoiler free.
Fair enough. Why you bring that up here, Stephen? Do you want to have?
Yeah, I can go into it. It is I wouldn't call it necessarily a movie. It's more of an experience. Definitely for the fans. If you're a Marvel fan, this 100%. Is definitely for the fan service.
Yeah.
It has everything you expect, but not what you expect. Some disappointments, some highs, some lows. Just overall, it's a really good experience in the cinema. Yeah. How watchable is it again later? That's for another debate. Yeah. But overall, I had fun with it. I took it for what it was. Yeah. But this whole question about has it saved the MCU, I'm still on the fence about that one.
Fair enough. That's very interesting because it seems like there's an uproar of people saying it actually has saved the MCU.
I mean, they were saying it until today. They weren't saying it before then.
We'll get into it.
Before
before this, people were saying it before their chest.
There's pre-Comic-Con and there's before, and there's after Comic-Con.
Yeah. BC and definitely
DC and AD, you know what I mean? But before Comic-Con and after Comic-Con. But I think it was a way in which it got people's bums in the seats for a Marvel film for the first time in a long time.
Yes, I agree with that.
And I think that, okay, let me just read my review. I think that in general, the film just brought like a really nice satirical grit to the MCU that we've never really had before. Like you don't get really gritty with it. And I think it was a great way to kind of revive the MCU after the Phase 4 or during Phase 4, and there is a lot of debate whether it is Phase 4 or not. And it did bring that electric energy into the cinema again in terms of like Marvel films, because a lot of people like didn't know how they were going to feel about it, but it was one for like old fans, for new fans, and there's like so many cameos that it's just something that can be a middle ground for a lot of people. And it was just like peak reactive cinema. Like there isn't a moment you weren't laughing or crying. At least the sitting that we were in.
I don't even think this is for Marvel fans. If I proper digest it, I feel like this is for people who are Endgame junkies. And what I mean by that is everyone's been looking, because I hear it and it really gets my nerves when then people going, "Oh, this is the best thing." You hear it other films as well. It's the best thing since Endgame. And what they mean by that is
I'm hearing that a lot.
They wanted to have that moment they had. We all know what scene we're referring to, Endgame, where everyone cheered and lost their minds. And when you don't get that from the other films that's come after that, everyone automatically says this is rubbish. When realistically, when you look at the films we've had since then, they haven't been perfect. But other films before Endgame also haven't been perfect. But they didn't have the same critique because of Endgame. So Endgame to me has been a blessing and a curse to the MCU, because loads of people are just looking for that feeling again, not necessarily about the film. So that excitement, and that's when goes, "Oh, this is good as well. This is the best feeling since Endgame," or whatever the case may be. And it's just not. It's just mediocre. It's the same we get before. So that whole Endgame stuff, like, just so everyone's looking for that feeling. It's the same with what happened with No Way Home as well. Everyone was like, "Oh, that feeling, yes." And that's all it is. That's all people want now from these MCU movies. No one cares about them trying to build something, or, you know, if Marvel decided to take it this route and that route, or we're going to do something a bit wacky. No, we just give me that Endgame feeling for all your movies. That's how we now critique it.
100%. I feel like this film alone, I like you mentioned No Way Home, because personally, I think I'm already on record saying that I don't like No Way Home for the fact that it felt more fan service than an actual story. And what I mean is as the fact that they had to bring in old villains because they knew that we loved them to bring them back. So it just didn't feel like, to me, it's my least favourite Spider-Man film, just because
really
it just felt lazy.
To me, this film was more lazy than Spider-Man. I actually like Spider-Man.
I agree with that, but I still find it lazy. Spider-Man No Way Home lazy.
And I might be the only one, but I actually felt very emotional with Spider-Man at the end of the film.
The ending probably was the best ending
I
for a
got
superhero
really
film.
emotional. I was just like, oh my
I've seen it in a
God,
long time.
no one remembers this guy.
Yeah.
He's just lost his aunt. I was popular like in Rec, and it was almost like one of those like sad, happy endings. Like he goes as Spider-Man, but his life has changed. I'm like, I'm looking forward to where this goes. So there were some emotional beats. There was some type of story. Deadpool Wolverine, there was no story. I don't know what these guys are doing. There's no story at all. If you proper sit down and try to like
there's no
dissect everything, there's so many plot holes.
You know what, like, this is the thing, people are gonna hate me. So you see how in, A Quiet Place Day One, the animal has like huge impact.
Yeah.
In Deadpool and Wolverine, you could have taken the dog out and it would have been...
The dog was there for, you know what? You should get into spoilers now. If you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, then you should watch it, come back, or hit that 15-minute button and just like press it for bed log, or just follow the tags, because we are now tagging the clips now, so you can just skip ahead if you haven't seen it. But we're gonna go full into spoilers now. I think a lot of stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine was a mixture of fan service and merchandise.
Memes. No, it's also just memes, because when memes are successful, that's when a franchise is successful.
Yeah.
It has that rewatchability, because then everyone's like, oh my God, that's from that meme, let me go and watch it again.
Yeah.
And then
I just see it as part of the Disney market engine that they have machine. Disney, please don't come for me. Please still invite me to your screenings, by the way. But I still have to say this. But every film they've done lately, especially after Endgame, sorry to bring up Endgame again, they've always had...
Endgame's a marker. It's definitely a marker for Marvel, so it has to be something that gets mentioned.
It has been very Disney-like. And what I mean by that, there's always some type of animal mascot in all their films. I'll go back to like Shang-Chi, great film. And then they introduced that character, was his name Norris or whatever, that weird little... he didn't have a face.
Animal.
Yeah, he didn't have a face, had just wings. They always bring some type of... They always bring some type of character. Some kind of creature or some kind of pet. Captain Marvel had the cat.
Yeah.
There's always something.
And then in the recent one, the Marvels, it was kittens.
Yeah, it was Goose, whatever his name is.
I think it appeals to a younger audience.
So they do that. They do that because they're gonna sell toys out of it.
Yeah,
some merchandise. That's what it is. So I saw it for what it was.
I feel like with that isn't just happening in Disney. That's happening quite largely in a lot of the cinematic universe. I mean, like Anatomy of the Fall.
They had the dog.
Yeah, had the dog. The dog even went to the Oscars.
Yeah, he went to the Oscars. He got nominated.
Yeah.
He got nominated for supporting.
But they're not going to sell franchise. They're not going to sell merchandises and toys.
I don't think for that film. Of course.
That's it.
They're using it as tools.
This Disney's marketing. They have to sell something. Like it's a product.
And then you've got like A Quiet Day.
You got the cat.
The cat. And so like you've got these characters.
Yeah, best actor in the whole entire film.
The best actor in the whole film.
You think Lupita did good? You think Desmond Quinn did good?
She was alright.
She was alright. Compared to the cat.
The cat was phenomenal. The cat was phenomenal.
How did we get here?
Nico and Schnitzel were on job. They came and said we're getting our check.
Good. You like when she was like dying and she was like shaking and shit.
No, her character wound me up.
Why did she wind you up?
I'm after this pizza. Yeah, I got the reason for it later.
Oh, he's like, why she going for pizza for?
Pizza. I don't give a damn. I'm going for pizza.
No, it was just a suicide.
No black person is chasing pizza like that. I'm sorry, like it's not that deep. I'm gonna go get this pizza. I got it. I got why she did because there was a meaning behind the pizza and blah blah blah.
What about Quinn's character?
I don't know why he was even there. Why did he beg it like that? Why did he beg it like that? That was weird, bro.
Beg for what?
That was weird.
He was scared.
Man just followed her around, bro. Run! She's going. She said she's going to go and get pizza into where there's going to be nonsense. Man said, "Okay, I'll follow." Why? Why did you follow? I don't get it, blood.
I think even found a connection with her.
Yeah.
In what way?
I don't know.
In what way?
Somehow.
We're digressing, but like if you look, that's the power of the animals. That's the power of the animals.
That cat was hard, bro.
Yeah, so like if you look at that, like the animals definitely have a really powerful impact. But in Dogpool was like you could really take Dogpool out of it, and it would
be the same film.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna do something. He did nothing.
He didn't do nothing.
I thought he would get like a gun or like do something funny and fight.
I didn't care for much from it because he didn't do anything. He was just there. I just saw him as one of the variants, and that was it. And he was just there. It was there to be used to make jokes for Deadpool. Deadpool used it for jokes. Hugh Jackman looked at it weird, and we move on. It was just another, ploy, and that was it. Done.
I do have noted here a bunch of cameos on here. I don't have all the cameos. I just know there's ones that I kind of took in. So by all means, if you guys have anyone that you want to talk about, do let me know. I can have it in order from the ones that kind of surprised me the most. So the first one I hear is Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
For a second, when you were saying Harry, I was like, you say Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I was like, even though he was meant to be, people wanted him to be in the
Wolverine,
film. They wanted him to be Patch, but he wasn't. But anyway, that for me was the biggest surprise. I did not see that coming at all.
Same.
And I had to tell you something. I think I might have messaged certain people, but yeah, the day I was gonna go watch the film, like an idiot, I went on Twitter to go and check a message, and somebody had posted 2 of the cameos on there. So the surprise had gone a little bit. I was still surprised in the cinema because I just got lost in the sauce. But
it caught you off guard.
I was like, oh my God. And there was 2 really good ones besides that one. But the Henry Cavill one really shocked me.
You know what? I reckon, so we were talking to this guy in the queue. I bet you he knew that's why he brought him up.
Oh yeah, because he did mention him. He mentioned him as possibly doing like James Bond. He mentioned it a few times. I was like, why James Bond?
Why James Bond? And then he came up and I was like, now I see it. Now I see it.
Other than that, it was already announced, but we have X-23 I've had listed on here. Obviously her appearance popped into it. I have Jennifer Gardner as Elektra popping through as well. I think we already knew about her popping up in the film. Possibly.
That was like definitely announced last year, no?
Yeah.
There was rumours about... I actually thought they were going to have Ben Affleck in there, and they didn't. And they did a really good joke about that.
That was a good joke.
That was... Because obviously them two...
They've been married,
divorced.
Yeah.
When he said he died, so it's like, I'm okay by it. And I was like, that was brilliant. That was just brilliant.
And going along with that, Channing Tatum as Gambit. Obviously, it was rumoured that there was talks about him doing the Gambit solo film that never came to be. So, of course, he was cameo on this. The whole premise is in Deadpool Wolverine, they end up in they find the others because obviously Fox was taken away. What do you call that world? That world that they go into, Deadpool and Wolverine.
The Void.
The Void, yes. So a bunch of stuff that goes into a Void is stuff that they no longer want a part of the universes, and one of them is of course Fox. So a lot of characters within Fox are put in there. Of course, Elektra was part of Fox, a part of Daredevil, and of course Gambit as well, which was meant to happen but never happened. So Channing Tatum was playing Gambit,
and it was quite interesting because he had openly spoke about how heartbroken he was that he didn't get to do that role.
Yeah, there were so many like conflicts he had regarding that. So he was meant to be in the X-Men Wolverine origin movie, but he was double booked. He was on G.I. Joe.
Okay.
So that's why they bought someone else to play Gambit. But he was meant to be there, but it's just like maybe G.I. Joe offered him more money. And he's just like, I'm going to stick with this guy. Even though no one even speaks about G.I. Joe. Until we get that new Transformers movie.
I'm kind of excited for that.
But yeah, it was a parody of the Gambit he would have played because they were really milking the accent. Yeah. And there was loads of jokes about it. But I just thought it was very, very, very well done version of Gambit. The outfit looked funny, but also as authentic as you can be. I just thought it was really, really great.
I think it was like very, like, again, it's just like very satirical. Like it was just a bit of like teasing each character in their own way, except for like one of the other ones that you're going to mention because I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, so we have another one. I'm just going to say this other one because it kind of came along with the group as well. But we got, of course, which kind of blew me. Like, I was quite shocked seeing this. Was Wesley Snipes as Blade. This surprised me just because it seemed like he had quite a lot of friction with Marvel these last couple of years, especially with the announcement of them doing another Blade film without him. So I always thought there was this beef between the two, but it seems that they kind of came to some form of agreement, or they patched their little beef they had. So he now appeared in the film as a...
That was even the bit that I was shocked about. There's always been rumours that him and Ryan Reynolds did not get along after Blade Trinity.
And they made jokes about it in the film as well.
Yeah, just like, you don't even like me. Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. So I was like, okay, you guys...
Yeah, because Wesley Snipes has a record of being an arsehole on shoots.
Not
I
necessarily.
think it's been true. I think it's
No,
true.
in the past as well.
Not necessarily an arsehole, just being paid. I would say pay. I wouldn't say arsehole. I would say pay. Yeah, there's the infamous.
He's a salty king.
There's the infamous story about the not open my eyes scene in Blade Trinity, and you have to CGI.
That was hilarious.
Which is the funniest thing. I showed my brother recently because he didn't know about it. I showed it, and he was laughing for, I'm not gonna lie, for almost 2 hours.
Is it? Well, I think it is. Is it because he didn't open his eyes because there was too much? No, that's not it.
I can't remember what the story. I can't remember the story is regarding to. I think he was beefing with the director, or if you think he was just beefing with the whole production, he just hated the whole process of Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need you to be on we need you to be on this bed. We need you to open your eyes. And he was like, well, Blade wouldn't open his eyes. Well, you need you to open your eyes, and he refused to open his eyes. So there's CGI eyes on him, and it's probably as bad as Henry Cavill with the mustache removal from the Justice League movie.
I need to watch that again.
So bad.
I need to watch it again. I knew deemed that as being petty as a been also.
I didn't see it as petty. I mean, he got the job done in there, but it's just petty. Like, I'm refused to open my eyes. I'm not opening my eyes.
I'm Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. You can get someone else to do it. I ain't doing it.
But it was great to see him again, and it was good to see the little comedy reference referring to the film as well. So that was quite good. But a big one that actually had. Well, Wesley Snipes was the big one as well. Everyone was quite loud during the screening of it.
Because I barked when this person came up.
I
I actually barked in the cinema.
I was excited.
You made a dog pool noise.
So,
I said, "Haroo."
of course, we've got Chris Evans as Johnny Storm / the Human Torch. Now, when it first popped on the screen, and I think a lot of people kind of experienced it as well, I thought it was Captain America. Until, of course, he said, flame on, and then turned into the Human Torch. But a lot of people already knew it was Human Torch because apparently his sleeves was already like...
No, but if you watch it again, and why a lot of people thought it might have been Captain America was like, yeah, he had the blue sleeve, but then just right here was red.
Okay.
So watch it again, it's red. So like, why has he got red there?
Yeah.
Is it Captain America? Because obviously the colours and it wasn't. I wasn't fully fooled because like he's not he's acting a little bit like Captain America. He's been a bit serious, and then he said something, and I was like, no, this is Johnny. This is Johnny.
This is a joke, man.
Before he said flame on, he said something. I was just like, no, this is Johnny, and then he did the flame on. Everyone
No,
just
he
went.
swore. He swore.
Oh,
That was it.
He did swore.
He swore.
He did
And then
swore.
I was like, wait, but that's not what Steve would do.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve swore a couple times.
No, he got onto. Remember what was it? Age of Ultron, when he got onto Tony Stark for swearing, and the whole film was just jokes about him.
Oh yeah, but he swore in I'm bringing up this film again. I'm so sorry.
Endgame.
He swore in Endgame. He said, "Let's go and get this son of a bitch," and that's when they were going to go find Thanos.
Yeah.
Which was like,
No, but like this, I can't remember what exact swear word it was, but I was like, that's not Steve.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not very Steve-like.
That's not very Steve-like. But that was a big shock to me. I didn't think Chris Evans would pop in, just because I knew his contract with Marvel was done. I thought he just wasn't interested to go back and do another film with them. But I guess that Disney bag is
it's just a quick cameo. Like they don't spend months filming. It takes a couple hours out of his day.
But also for like I would like to think certain actors just don't want to ruin the character that they built.
Well, he's not playing the character he's built. He's left it alone, so he can come back. I think he finds. There's an interview a couple years ago as well, maybe just before maybe a year ago. They asked him about, would you join Deadpool and play Johnny Storm?
Yeah.
And he was excited about it. He was just like, I would love to do that. Like, cause he saw it as like, we never really got to finish that series. We did 2 films and it ended. I would love to do that character again.
True.
It's like, and he said it's all Captain America. I've done it. It's over here, but I'd love to go to that. So yeah. I agree with it.
I remember him saying that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He'd be happy to do Johnny.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, fair.
Because he really loves that character. That was the film that really got him to the whole Marvel. So yeah, he was down for it. So, and like I said, it takes a couple hours. Well, not couple, maybe a day or 2 days max, and then they're gonna buy it. It's not like
nice little breeze.
lengths, and they have to get into shape. Paul wore like a bodysuit or something, and then they went home, and that was it. So. And like I said, it doesn't take away him playing Captain America. Captain America is that character. And everyone kind of knew that one of the Fantastic Four may show up, but just didn't know who.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be Jessica Alba. We would love to see that, but we didn't get that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, you all behave over there.
Say again?
Drink some water.
Oh, God.
Shout out to Jessica Alba, man. Yeah, that's all the cameos that I have. I don't know if you guys have any that kind of like took you out or surprised you while watching the film, or you just enjoyed seeing. I guess not.
I was like, at the time watching, oh my God, yes, this person's here. I felt like they were used to the best that they could. There was just little things, just me personally, that I wish they just changed a little bit. So I would have loved to see X-23.
That's what I was thinking.
In the outfit, potentially, like in a Wolverine outfit or some sort. Even her, like, it's in my ears, or did she not even have an accent anymore? She didn't have a.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
She just had like American accent. There was no like. Where was I forgot where a character was from? I don't know if it was like somewhere down South America.
South America, yeah.
She didn't have.
I guess because also like because he'd given her a chance to have a normal life, she must have just.
Change the accent?
Yeah. No, just assimilate into American culture.
Yeah, just adapted to American culture full.
Because that's what happens, though, isn't
yeah,
it?
it does happen. But would have loved to. That would have happened. So a little nitpick. I can't believe they missed this opportunity. So obviously, Blade is known for having this like main badass sword that he uses.
Yeah.
And there's a pose he does in the first Blade movie. This is just me nitpicking. I just wish I saw it. So in the original movie, he takes some people out and he does like a pose with the sword. It's like in that looks like signature pose. Like that looks badass. And obviously he had this like it looked like he had a machete in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just wish like Deadpool just gave him one of his katanas, just one of them, to Blade. And we would have really got that Blade feeling. It just felt weird him using this machete. I'm like, is he a roadman from Peckham? Why is he using machete? I was like, I'll take it. It's whatever. It's cool.
Fair enough.
But the cameos, I think they fit well into the story and they did what they needed to do, except for the ending. The ending kind of peed me off a little bit because it was like, where are these characters? Like, oh, they're now, because there was a whole thing like, oh, there's certain people, could you save them, please? They probably haven't gotten the worlds. Where did they go? We didn't get a scene of them going to the worlds or going somewhere else. I don't know whether they're saving that.
No, didn't they say, weren't they all in that world with them? In the end,
no.
Did I imagine?
No, it was just X-23 that they showed, but it didn't show. They didn't show what happened to them. We don't know whether they got saved.
How did X-23 get in there? There's a lot of potholes in this. How the hell did the universe just balance out?
Well, I had this conversation. Apparently, apparently the rule is, which they haven't really made it clear, that once a world has been wiped, it doesn't exist. Because you know the whole thing about like if someone doesn't belong to that world, then it's like a, what's the word, incursion. And it's not, and things start tearing apart because that person's not meant to be there. However, there's a rule that if one of their world doesn't exist, they can go to somewhere else and it doesn't ruin the world. That's why they were going to take Deadpool out of his world and take it to the MCU. It wouldn't affect the MCU because we're going to get rid of your world, but we can take you into the MCU and you'll be fine there. So that's what they tried to... It wasn't explained properly.
It wasn't explained at all.
But yeah, that's what I got from...
That makes a lot more sense.
I don't think it's a cameo because he's actually just one of the main characters, but Paradox.
Oh, you mean...
Paradox? Who's Paradox again?
Are you talking about Pyro?
Yeah. The guy from the timeline. The
Guy from the timeline.
The one that caused the
main guy.
Yeah.
That's his name. His name Paradox. Oh shit, his name is Paradox. My bad.
Who's that again? I forgot who
the guy from Succession. Have you seen Succession?
Mr. Darcy from.
But is he from Loki? He's not from the Loki series.
No, he's meant to work for that same.
He works for the.
Oh yeah, he works for TVA.
Yeah. He works for TVA.
We didn't even mention the other cameos. I mean, no, they already showed them on in the trailers, but Sabretooth and Pyro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care too much.
Didn't care for them?
I didn't care for Sabretooth that much.
I was a bit annoyed. It
was so quick.
Like he literally was there for like what, a minute?
This
even a minute.
This is the fight everyone's waiting for decades. The fight ends in like a minute. God, man. This is what we're waiting for decades. Who was waiting for this for decades? I was not waiting for Wolverine and Sabretooth fight for
another thing that made me laugh was like, you saw these they used the excuses like, we've got variants of all these other characters. So there was like Lady Deathstrike, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
what's his name? Nightcrawler. I forgot his name. Nightcrawler's father is red, and he could do the same thing as well.
Yes.
We had all these variants, and I was just like, you couldn't get these actors to come back.
That's what he was.
Because in the trailers, I remember we could see them in the back. I was like, wait, is that Lucy Liu as back as? Is it Lucy Liu? I forgot. Is it Lucy something?
It was Lucy. I think.
Or is it Kelly who, I think her name, who plays Lady Deathstrike in the X-Men 2? I apologize if I've just mixed up the names. But yeah, we were like, oh, maybe she's in the film. Oh, Vinnie Jones back as Juggernaut. No, it was just variants of them. I was just like, you couldn't get actors, or you guys had gone way over the budget because the film cost 200 million.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh, he did cost.
200 million.
200 million, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, they've.
I do remember Juggernaut, the guy that originally played Juggernaut, basically saying that he just feels too old to wear the actual, suit for it. And I think they're kind of pushing for him to wear the suit. And
from what I saw on the internet, he was saying that they didn't even call him.
Oh
yeah, it was like they didn't even call me.
Freaking hell.
It's like, why didn't they not call me?
Maybe they couldn't afford him after everything.
Yeah, everything they spent.
Really? I feel like they could have.
Bro, they got Wesley to come back.
Yeah.
That man took back.
For this.
Are you gonna take him back?
He took back. He said, "You want me in there? Fair. But this is how I'm
If there's a price, I'm in it.
He's like,
I'm in it.
There's a price for everything.
And if you can agree with that, you can speak to my lawyers.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's not even speak to me, speak to my lawyers.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I've got some taxes I need to pay off.
Trust.
So pay them off.
I still got monthly payments to make.
Can we sort that out? If you've paid them off, I apologise as well. I'm just saying it again, but yeah, we don't know that. But yeah.
Shout out to FC. What do you guys feel about? Of course, obviously, it's Deadpool Wolverine, which apparently wasn't meant to be the original name. Ryan Reynolds did say on an interview that the original name was meant to be Deadpool and Friends, but that name got leaked a day before the trailer came out, and fans basically said, fans were not impressed by the name, so they changed it to Deadpool and Wolverine. That being said, of course, it is called Deadpool and Wolverine. What did you guys think about Hugh Jackman, of course, returning to the character to play Wolverine?
He was my favourite character in this. And I'm still debating in my head, I don't know which version I prefer. This version or the version he portrayed in Logan. But it's up there for me.
Yeah.
There's one scene, it's my favourite scene. Yes, it's the car scene.
Yes, that's
my favourite scene.
That's why I feel like, yo, do what you do. Hugh Jackman, just do what you normally do. Because that monologue there was beautiful.
Like, the monologue, him he was spitting and everything. I was like, this is Wolverine. This is the rage side of Wolverine. I absolutely loved it. I was a bit annoyed that it was a whole him being alcoholic and that's what killed the X-Men and blah 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 and all that storyline.
Yeah.
But I just thought his performance was well, and it really makes whoever has to come after him
very difficult.
The pressure is going to be absolutely crazy.
It's so difficult that I feel like as fans we have to understand that we're not going to get that Wolverine again. That they have to pivot and make a different type of Wolverine.
I mean, there was that ongoing joke throughout the film that he's gonna have to just do this until he's 90.
Yeah. Kevin Feige has said as well when interviewed, watched the interview where he says that if we do get a new Wolverine, we're gonna have to do it completely different from Jackman. We have to.
I agree.
Because
the comparison.
The role is too iconic. He is that embodiment of Wolverine. Even though he's not really the full version of from what I remembered him from the comics, but that version is just we can't separate the two. So,
and sometimes it's kind of hard to separate his characters outside of the Wolverine films from that, like Les Miserables.
Yeah.
That character was.
You buddy saying that. You love
she loves saying it. She loves it. The way it rolls off her tongue. She loves saying it. She loves that. When she goes to France, it's gonna be peak, bro.
I have a French name. What are you surprised about?
She loves saying it.
Say it.
Of all the films to use, that's the one you want.
Les Miserables.
Yeah. Again. We don't ask her to say it again. You said it again. It's cool. It's fine.
Click that.
No, so because you know there's that bit where his character's like, I have done so many bad things. It's at the end of the film, and he's still hench. He's dying and he's still hench. But then he's having this really deep emotional moment. I'm like, Wolverine?
Yeah. All that's missing from that line is there's some things I do, but I'm the best to do it. But there's that line that Wolverine always says in all his films. Like, I'm the best at it, but what I do, a lot of people don't like, or something. One of those lines. That was what I was missing from that look you just said.
Because it's literally I think that's why he's started to do loads of different types of films, because he's having to disassociate from that character because he's done it so well that you just see it now.
Yeah.
So I think, it'll be quite interesting to see how they like change Wolverine from this.
Yeah.
Would you guys want to see him do Wolverine again at any point?
I mean, if he does it, cool.
Over?
If he doesn't, I'm cool with that as well. I'm not one of
Don't
these
force
like...
my guy, because he's literally said, oh, I've had the worst training to get into my Wolverine
I do
body.
feel sorry for him how he has to train, because he's an elderly man. Like, he shouldn't be doing these type of workouts.
Come on, man.
He arms no, but it's
Man said elderly.
He's
he's an older man, 55, and his arms are wham like that. That's not. I don't think that's healthy for you at that age. Alright, cool. I guess we're one side of it. But how do you guys feel about? So of course he did Logan, and Logan was directed by James Mangold. Yeah, James Mangold. He was director is quite upset. Obviously, this Logan might be the last Wolverine film. That's not the case. Wolverine's back. He believes that, well, he's shown his energy or his thoughts towards Marvel as a whole, and believe that's not good storytelling. Of course, Deadpool Wolverine is doing quite successful. I'm sure it's going to hit $1 billion. People are saying it may hit $2 billion at any chance, but it seems like from Rotten Tomatoes and from critics along the park, it seems that fans love it, but movie critics dislike it. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I feel like
there's a divide.
That's always like the case though with certain films. Like critics are always really critical of it, and then the fans absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at like what's it, Scorsese saying, "Oh, like I don't like all these films. They're just like they're like thought parks," and it's like okay, but like a lot of them are based off of mythology.
Yeah.
And a lot of them bring seats into the cinema, which is what's keeping you bank and helping you make your films, because production companies have money.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's easy for them to be critical of it, but they need to acknowledge that this is what the cinema is right now, and this is what people need.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Going to, you mentioned previously about the director not being happy about the whole thing. I don't think they did anything disrespectful to Logan. Yeah, they made a joke about...
Really? They brought his skeleton?
Yeah, they brought the skeleton back. Yeah, but they didn't use that version of Logan. So in my eyes, that Logan character is that Logan character, and he's dead and done. So that story... So if you didn't watch this Deadpool, like you can have it... Look, basically...
You didn't need to watch Logan to watch this Deadpool.
No, that's that too. But what I'm saying is that when people are like, oh, you've ruined my character. Look, you don't need to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. You can just end it with Logan.
Yeah, true.
This one doesn't need to exist to you.
True.
It doesn't affect anything that happened to Logan. That character's still dead.
Yeah.
He's done. Like, so when you're like, oh, it's affecting the character, you've already said it's a variant. Like, it's another version of this Wolverine. It's not the same Wolverine as your one. So, I don't know what you're crying about. And you're right about the whole, having to, they keeping bums in seats and helping Hollywood keep on going, because Hollywood is struggling right now. They really, really are.
They are.
Another thing that really drives me a bit nuts is when we have, critics complain about a Marvel film.
Nobody forced you to watch it.
But you still go and watch it though.
Yeah.
You're still there at the screenings. You're still there at certain. You want to interview this person. You want to do this, but then complain about the film. They have a look. It's end of the day. It's a machine. The machine knows what they're doing. It's working for them. Sometimes it doesn't work, but for the most part, it works for them. They're not going to change it. That's like, there's certain films I never go in hard about the movie. I know what it is. If I go and watch Fast and Furious movie, I'm not going to expect it to be, a Christopher Nolan movie. I know what it is, and I just watch it for what it is, who the audience is for, and I saw The Guardian. And they gave the new Deadpool film a 1 out of 5. I'm like,
a 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the same.
A 2 or 1. One of the.
That's the same rating as they gave. Was it in Back to Black? There's no way you're putting those two together. You can't.
But I'm like, the people who read The Guardian, or the people who work for The Guardian, obviously that film is not for you. So I don't know what the issue is. So at the end of the day, everyone has their opinions, and which is rightfully so. But just know what film you're watching, who this is meant for. Yeah. And just move on. Like, this whole, oh my God, Marvel films and blah, this... Look, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Go and watch something else.
Do you think movie critics should pivot their opinions compared to other
See,
films
when I
adjust.
when I review a movie myself, I really loosely put my opinion, my own personal opinion of a movie. I just always think about, are the audience going to love this movie?
Yeah.
Are they going to pay money to go and see? Is it worth for them spending their hardcore cash to go and watch this movie? That's what I always think about. I never think about me personally. If I was to rate it me personally for Deadpool and Wolverine, it probably will get a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's just me as a critic. But I'm thinking about the audience, the fans who are going to have a good time, and it gets a 4. That's why I gave it the score I do. I always think about them. I know who it's for, who they've made it for. They're not trying to win an Oscar. They're not trying to go through that audience. They know who they're going for, and that's it. And everyone's just deal with it. And if you're part of the audience and you accept it for what it is, and you have fun with it, cool. If you don't, that's also fine as well. But don't cry about it.
Yeah, it's like...
It's so boring. It's the same conversation we're having every time as well.
Yeah, 100%.
All the time. It's just boring. Like, just go away.
I think it's gonna be a constant battle. I like to give a reference to, a shout out to Hashi from Small Time Critics, because after he watched the film, he gave his take about the movie, and I just want to bring it across on the pod because he gave his rating out of 1 to 10. He said, as a movie critic, he will give it a 7. As a Marvel fan, he will give it an 8. So I do want to ask you guys, I think we all know the answer to this, to be fair. Is there a Marvel bias?
I think it's different because when you have Marvel fans, there's certain expectations that need to be fit into that critics aren't going to be looking out for.
True.
It's the background knowledge. It's making sure that like the powers are as accurate as it was in the comic books and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you don't get like a Sundance film critic to rate anime. It doesn't make sense. It's not within their same genre. So like, I think you need to have that background knowledge, and I don't have it to that extent on the comic book knowledge, but I know enough to say, okay, like this was definitely one's fans, and it wasn't for just old fans; it was for new fans as well.
Yeah.
So I think I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But when you're doing like superhero films, it's a different league of its own.
Definitely, because for me, I feel like even for Outtake as a whole, we're definitely split in between like blockbuster and like indie
movies,
world cinema. So my opinions will always be split in the middle of like, I can look at Deadpool and go, as a movie, not the best in terms of structure and story, but I can understand that it's meant to be like a fun, eventful movie, and that's how my opinion is going to look at it. Like Godzilla and King Kong, like that's a bad movie, but I understand that's just meant to be like a fun, dumb action movie, and I can appreciate for that. And it brought people to the cinema, people that probably just don't go cinema, and that audience needs films to go watch movies. They're gonna watch.
You can't just completely alienate a whole group of people.
Exactly.
At the same time, we still need to hold these films accountable. If this is a bad movie, we need to let them know it's a bad movie. We can't always give the excuse like, well, it's for the audience and it's fans, because that just like what film where they just it's bad. No, that's a perfect example, and I'm gonna bring this guy up because he annoyed me this week as well. Tyler Perry.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Tyler Perry cussed all the critics and called us highbrow Negroes.
Yeah.
Mate, your audience, yes, your hardcore fans will follow you to the ends of the earth. That's what it seems like. They just watch literally anything. Don't you think they deserve good storytelling?
100%.
Good cinematography.
What was that film? The one of Coloured Girls. That was a good one.
Of Coloured Girls by Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the one where it's got. That's the only one. That's the only one.
I think he produced it. I don't think he directed it.
He didn't direct it.
Or write it.
No way he could have directed it.
Because it's based. I think it's based on another play by somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't think it's him.
But
that's probably why that one is the exception to the rule.
I was like, okay, that's the only one that I think. But out of all of it, I don't like it. It's just masquerade blackness.
But we should hold some of these films accountable if they're doing rubbish. Like if you're doing rubbish, don't just think, oh, because you can't ride that for so long. Oh, well, I have a fan base, they're gonna always come out to watch my films. Eventually they're gonna get tired of it and they're gonna look for something new. Especially if somebody else can offer something else that has that same still entertainment wise, but story-wise, and they're giving me something more, something to help me grow. Because, like, there's certain films I enjoyed as a child. Like, I love Spider-Man. I love, as a kid, teenager, I love Spider-Man 3. I know it's
Yeah.
I know it's an awful film, but I've grown up. Now I understand there's other films that are way better than that. But at the time, that was fantastic. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, oh my God, fantastic. But you have to grow. Your audience grows as well, and you have to grow with them as well. You can't just give them the same thing every time and just think, well, yeah, it's fine. They're going to come and see it. That's laziness. And that we don't need. We don't need laziness in anything. So I hope I think Ryan Reynolds is a very clever man. If they decide to make another one, I think he will hear the critique that he's heard from people. Yeah. And I think he will take it like, okay, what can we do to make sure the next one is better? I don't know the reason why they didn't focus so much on the story. The story just feels way paper thin. I don't know if it's because they didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough time to make.
Because wasn't it also affected by the writer's strike?
Yeah, that could be the reason for it. I just feel like it needs like another draft to it.
True.
But also, I looked at who directed it, and it wasn't the same director of the first two movies. It was the guy who did the Night of Free Guy and the Night of the Museum, and those two are not necessarily my. Yeah. They don't really have great storytelling. There's nothing. It's just very visually nice and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's
funny enough, he worked with Hugh Jackman as well on Real Steel, which is the boxing.
Yeah, that visually it's all cool, but story-wise, I can't even tell what happened in Real Steel.
Yeah, seems like he's mostly known for doing like family films.
Family films.
Family.
So it's probably his breakout from that.
I think he just made a really good relationship with Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds just kept him along through the process of everything else. What else do I have on here? Last two questions I have for you guys. This is from Aladdin. So unfortunately, Aladdin's not on this episode today, but he's a huge Marvel fan. Well, he was, then he wasn't. He wasn't, then he was. He's all around the way, but he's normally our Marvel guy. But on the group chat, when he finally got to watch the film, his first question towards us was, which movie did more fan service, Avengers Endgame or Deadpool and Wolverine?
I think in terms of storyline, Endgame, but in terms of really putting Marvel back and putting seats in I would say,
Wait, the question is, which one did more for fan service?
Yeah.
It's definitely this one.
Yeah.
Definitely this film. This film was all about fan service. It wasn't about anything else. They didn't have a story. It was like, what can we do to get the crowd going nuts in the cinema? And that's what they seem to be doing. That was it. Yeah. That was it. That was all it was about. Endgame. We're saying that name again. There should be like a count somewhere. How many times we've said it today? Endgame wasn't a fan service. That was actually it was a little bit, but it
was like the completion of a storyline.
Yeah, it was a completion of a story. There was it was like a gift. If you've been following all these films the last 10 years, there was something for you. Even like the smallest little thing, like somebody picking up a hammer, or somebody saying this line, or somebody swearing, Captain America swearing, knowing that a couple films back he was telling people not to swear. There's always little things there. Like if you've been following it, you're going to get something. There's an award for sticking out for all these films. That's what that was more. Yeah. There was like, Deadpool was just like, what can we do to make the crowd go crazy?
Yeah.
What can we do that we know potentially we're never going to see? Like they had this one of the variants, Wolverine, from the Age of Apocalypse.
Oh,
I highly doubt we're ever going to get that version in the film. So let's just throw him in there. We don't know if we're ever going to get Hulk versus Wolverine, but let's just throw a nod in there. Yeah. There was all these things that it's just fan service. That's what it was. Yeah. So if you've been reading the comics, watching the movies, if you've been old enough to see when Blade came out, all that stuff there, that's what it was. It was just like, I call it celebration. Celebrated fan service movie, and that's what it was.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree with you actually. I forgot about the whole. There was a lot of stuff in this movie I actually forgot about the whole.
There was even the short.
Yeah, the comic accurate version of Wolverine. Yeah, because he's supposed to be like really, really. I think he's 5'3".
Really?
He's the same height as me.
I think he's short. He's really, really short.
There is a joke because there was a girl.
It's either 5'3" or 5. He's short.
That's why Jean Grey didn't want him.
Yeah, that's why. That's the real thing. That's why she's like, because he's short.
Short king.
Yeah, short king.
Short-tempered.
That's why he's so angry as well. Short man syndrome. That's where it comes from.
Napoleon syndrome.
Damn, shut
No,
up.
there was a joke because when we went to the screening, did you see there was a girl dressed up as Storm?
Yeah.
And I had my yellow shirt, and then she was like, "You're like my little Wolverine, my short king."
Damn.
But it's accurate though.
Yeah, it is accurate. Last question on this topic in terms of Deadpool Wolverine. Is this a top tier Marvel film?
No.
You'll put it in your top 10, top 5?
No, it's not. It's look, I guarantee you.
Ask me in a year how I feel about this. No. Just how I feel about this film. That's it.
You don't even need that long. I already know. Look, once we've seen it once or twice, you're not gonna see it again. I'm telling you now. You might see it again when they drop on Disney Plus because the excitement is on Disney Plus. And like, I haven't seen that film for a time. Yeah. Let me watch it again, and you know you're not gonna get that same feeling you had when you're watching at home that you got from the cinema. Yeah. You're not gonna see this film again. It's not a top tier movie. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I know that's what it is. It's to me, it's still a Deadpool sequel than an MCU movie. It's not even an MCU movie at all to me.
Same.
It's not.
I'm with you.
So, no, there are way better films that they have done in terms of story-wise, action that you can watch again and again. To this day, I continuously watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier without fail. I put it on at least maybe a couple times in the year.
Yeah, one of the best Marvel films.
Certain film, I put Infinity. I don't even watch Endgame that much. I watch Infinity War loads of times.
I'm on record saying I'm not a huge fan of Endgame. I think Infinity War was way better than
Infinity War was way much better.
Because it helped. Like Endgame is just nice because it is a completion of a story. Yeah. But Infinity War is how you build one. Yeah. How you build a great story.
Yeah, 100%.
How you build a great villain.
Yeah. So this is not going to be in the top 10. Maybe top 20, but not top 10.
I can see it top 20.
Top 15?
Maybe not.
Plus, I could probably put it top 15. I have to go for the list. Actually, I don't know. Maybe not talk out of turn. Because, like you said, I feel like my relationship with this film is I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed it how I watched it. Of course, watching it with a group of fans, obviously, when you see certain characters, everyone's cheering. Obviously, I don't think every cinema is going to have that type of experience. Some people will be like, why are people like shouting because of this guy with black glasses wearing... like
who's that? Like, because Blade came out quite a long time ago, so like a lot of people don't know who Blade is.
So the experience of the film is what my rating makes it a good, decent watch. Once I watch this film again, I don't think I'm watching it for
you're not watching it again.
And I'm gonna watch it again only because there's certain stuff I feel like I missed.
Yeah, that's it.
So I just need to watch it again to just refresh my memory or go, okay, I think I missed that scene. Or I didn't even remember that scene even happening. Yeah. And then after that, I think I'm done. I think that's generally how I feel about Deadpool films. Like, it takes me it's not something I'm gonna look to watch in a year or two.
Yeah, like even I
need a minute.
The last two movies, I only watched it again because this one was coming out. Yeah. I only watched it for a very long time. I mean, because, even back then with those ones, which has the same problem with this one, is that there's so many jokes in this film. You're still laughing from the one you heard 10 minutes ago. They didn't hear the other jokes. So that for that reason, you're going to watch it again. So you go and see the jokes that you missed. But after that, no, there's nothing in it to go, I need to watch that again. Like, once you've got the excitement out of your head, you know what? To really get an idea of how much you really love this film, go to like a really early showing, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, where there's no one in the cinema. I think and go and watch it, and then you get your real feeling about that film. Yeah. Because there's no crowd making noise. It's just you focusing on this movie, and then you tell me you don't need a year. You're gonna find in a couple of weeks if you really love this movie. I already know it is. I gave it a high rating because I know it's gonna just bring excitement, and I had a really good time. But I know what it was. Yeah. And that's it. And we'll move on. We'll move on to other things. It's got people excited again. It's got people talking about Marvel again.
Speaking of other things.